Live now and speak to Professor Matthew Schmidt, who specialises in national security at the University of New Haven. It's good to talk to you, Professor. Thanks once again for joining us. Let me ask you, first of all, what are both these leaders looking to achieve from this meeting?
Well, first, I think it's important to remember that the frame that Putin uses or Kim uses about this war in Ukraine is fundamentally different from the one the United States or the UK uses. From Putin's standpoint and from Kim's, they're opening up an Eastern front, right, in this larger war against the West. And it's exactly as as the previous speaker said, that Putin is really his big goal here with the war in Ukraine and with this move towards North Korea is to push against the global system.
Is that going to work? Does North Korea have enough clout to, together with Russia, be able to push against the global system? Surely it needs a country like China more.
Yeah, in the end, it's not going to work completely, but it is something that the West now has to look and take care of, right? If Russia gives North Korea the military and space technology they need to build long-range ballistic missiles, it's not something we can ignore. But in the end, I think it is something we can manage.
But is it in Russia's interest to help them in that way?
Remains to be seen. Again, I think we have to think about psychology first. Putin thinks right now in his sort of moment of desperation that it's in Russia's interest, but in the long term, it may well not be.
What do you make of Russia saying, we're not interested in the warnings from the US?
They've always said that. I think a lot of it is bluster. The thing there is that Putin's power rests on two things. It rests on the economic power of Russia, which rests essentially only on oil and gas. And the second is the military. And he wants to make sure, more than anything, that NATO does not have an excuse to join the fight because he'll lose his military.
Let's talk finally about all this potential impact we could see on Ukraine. I mean, it seems to me it could have a really big impact on what's happening there.
It could have, right? But we don't know. If you think about this, Russia has expended about 10 million artillery shells so far in this war. It can produce maybe 2 million a year. So it has to go somewhere to make up that difference until its production capacity can catch up. But the thing is when do those artillery shells arrive? The thing is, how good are they? How many of them have not been maintained and won't fire out of those guns? And that we just don't know. I don't expect any kind of major impact on the front in Ukraine anytime soon.
OK, it's been so interesting to talk to you, Professor Schmidt. Thank you once again.
My pleasure.